Hey ambitious professionals, it's Linda Rayner of lindarainer.com, guiding you to a career and life you'll truly enjoy. And in today's video, I'm going to get a little bit more personal and I'm going to share with you 3 key steps that have really helped me to overcome the fear of failure. And so this will be really helpful to you if you're someone who also struggles with fear of failure or you've recently experienced failure in your life. As a career strategist, I've had the honor of being able to help numerous professionals land their dream job offers. And so if this is something that you're interested in working with me one-on-one, I can give you details about that at the end of this video. Now, many of us, including myself, have gotten stuck in our lives. We've had periods where we've felt stuck because of the fact that we were afraid to do something because we felt that we may not be successful at it. So we had a fear of failure. And that's completely understandable. But coming from someone who has experienced failures in my life, I now see failure as something completely different from how many people see it. And in order for you to overcome this fear of failure or even a recent failure that you've experienced, it's really all about shifting your perceptions and your beliefs on what you consider failure to be. So I'm going to share with you 3 steps on how you can overcome your fear of failure and become more resilient as a result. Step number 1, recognize that you're putting way too much emphasis on what others think of you and it needs to stop. The truth is, people who are afraid of failure aren't necessarily afraid of the failure itself as much as they're afraid of what others would think of them if they were to find out that they failed. This is a cold, hard truth for you if you happen to be someone who has a big fear of failure. If you're to be truly honest with yourself, there's probably an aspect to your life where you're living your life based on what others expect of you, rather than living your life on your own terms and going after your own ambitious goals. People who are afraid of failure say things like, "What will people think of me? How will people feel of me? How will I feel about myself in return? What are people gonna say about me?" Living your life this way, from the outside in rather than the inside out, causes a lot of unnecessary worry, uncertainty, and unsettledness within you. I know this because I've experienced it firsthand. But once I realized that I was placing way too much emphasis on what other people thought of me, I knew that I had to turn it around. Because at the end of the day, life isn't about just meeting other people's expectations. Life is about meeting your own goals, your own dreams for what you want and what you feel is going to make you happiest. So stop giving too much power over to other people in your life and don't even think about the possibilities of what's going on in their minds. Step number 2 to overcoming your fear of failure, project the best case scenario always. If you're afraid of failure, it's partly because you have an amazing imagination. You have a great imagination. It's great at imagining the worst case scenario. Your imagination is so good that it is great at being able to see everything that can go wrong in the worst possible way. Do you know how many people who have had fears of failures tell me their worst case scenarios that are going through their heads? It's insane. So if this is you, what do instead? You do the complete opposite. Instead of imagining the worst case scenario, I want you to imagine what is the best possible scenario that could potentially happen out of all of this. What is that gonna look like? What is that gonna feel like? The more often that you can visualize and see what the best possible outcome could be out of any situation, the more likely that you're gonna feel that it is a true possibility for you. Step number 3. Accept the idea that failure makes you a more confident person. There are 2 types of confident people out there. There are the confident people who are confident because they've never failed And so in a sense, it's more of a superficial kind of confidence. And then there are the other types of confident people who have failed fairly often in their lives. And because they've gone through these types of experiences and situations, the level of confidence that they have within themselves is much more grounded. They know themselves better because of the experiences and the failures that they've gone through. So now the question for you is, which kind of confident person are you? If you're confident. Are you confident because you know you are, or because you tell yourself that you are? When you can allow yourself to fail, what ends up happening through that process is an unraveling and a discovery of who you actually are inside. Because you once had this notion, this idea of who you were as an individual, someone who never failed, someone who was perfect. You wanted to try to maintain that, but until you experience that failure, only do you really discover who you really are inside. If you're not someone who is always perfect, then who are you really? And that's what the beauty of failure offers. That is the gift in being able to experience failure. You're able to discover who you really are, beyond the failures, beyond the successes. And that question of being able to ask yourself, so who am I really, is a beautiful beginning for you. It's a beautiful gateway for you to be able to start to understand who you are at a deeper level, beyond your failures, beyond your successes, and beyond your mind-made perception of yourself. So the next time that you have to make a decision or you have to do something and you're afraid to do it because you are worried about failing, remember that even if you do end up failing, even if it doesn't work out, that at the end of the day, you're going to be able to learn a little bit more about yourself, and you're going to be able to gain a little bit more confidence along the way. So there you have it. My 3 steps on how you can start to overcome your fear of failure and begin your journey of really getting to know yourself and gaining self-confidence. Now, if you're someone who is currently searching for a new position, you're wanting to make a career change, you've been looking for a while but it hasn't been successful, and you realize that you need one-on-one professional guidance, then feel free to reach out to me. Head on over to my website, lindarainer.com/standoutgethired. Feel free to read through the page, fill out the application form, and if myself or my team feels that there's a potential match between you and I, then we'll reach out to you directly. If you like this video, then please give it a thumbs up, subscribe, share it with your friends. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you